بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد وبارك وسلم. So we're going to continue the ahadith of the Dajjal, the details of Dajjal and the emergence of Dajjal before the day of Qiyamah. This is the chapter of Al-Mansurat wal-Mulah. Mansurat meaning the scattered or miscellaneous topics. وعن أبي سعيد الخدري ورضي عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال أبو سعيد الخدري ورضي عنه سيدة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم said يخرج الدجال فتوجه قبله رجل من المؤمنين. Dajjal would come out, or Dajjal would emerge, and a believing man would approach Dajjal, and the henchmen of Dajjal would apprehend this man. فَيَقُولُونَ لَهُ, they would say to him, إِلَىٰ أَيْنَ تَعْمِدُ, where are you going? And this man or this believer would say, I intend to meet, or I intend to go to this one who has come out, who has emerged. So the henchmen of Dajjal would then reply to him, Awama tu'minu bi Rabbina, don't you believe in our Lord? Meaning their Lord is Dajjal. And this man or this believer would reply, my Lord is not small, meaning my Lord is not small business, my Lord is not a small fry, like we can say. So in other words, he is using this word to belittle Dajjal. So this man is a believer and he's saying, but my Lord is not a small person, my Lord is not small news, my Lord is Allah. Henchmen of Dajjal would then say, Uqtuluhu, kill him, because he is speaking against their Lord. Some of them would say to the others, Alaysa qad nahakum rabbukum an taqtulu ahadan dunahu, didn't Dajjal, meaning didn't your Lord prevent you from killing anyone without his permission? So the henchmen of Dajjal would take this man, this believer, to meet Dajjal. When the mu'min says, when the mu'min sees Dajjal, that believer would say, Ya ayyuhan nas, inna hadha Dajjal alladhi dhakara Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, O people, this is the Dajjal that the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam warned us about. This is the Dajjal. So Dajjal would then command this person, or command his henchmen, and they would tie him up. When they tie him up, they would torture him, or they would beat him on his back and on his stomach. فَيَقُولُ أَوَمَا تُؤْمِنُ بِي. Dajjal would then say to this man, this believer, Dajjal would say to this Muslim, this mu'min, don't you believe in me? So the believer would reply to Dajjal, Anta al-Masih al-Kadhab. I cannot believe in you because you are al-Masih al-Kadhab, the lying Masih. فَيَأْمَرُ بِهِ. Dajjal would then command his henchmen to bring him forward. They would bring him forward tied up and in chains, and they would place a saw or a blade on his head, and they would cut him in two. Dajjal would then walk between the two halves of this man. Dajjal would then look at both halves and Dajjal would say, "Come, stand up." And the two halves of this man's body would join and they would stand up. Dajjal would then say to this man, "Don't you believe in me now?" This man, meaning this believer, the mu'min, the believer would say to Dajjal, "Mazdadtu fika illa basiratan." I have only increased in my recognition that you are Dajjal. I have only increased in my recognition that you are Dajjal. Now, if we pause there, some people might ask the question, so why did Dajjal walk between both halves? Why did Dajjal walk between both halves? So, the Muhaddithin, they mentioned that this was a proof. Dajjal was proven that he actually killed this man. It's not a visual trick, it's not a trick of the eyes. So Dajjal actually killed him, showing that he did cut him in two. So this man, when he replies to Dajjal that my iman and my belief and my recognition concerning you being Dajjal has only increased, this man would then say to the people, "Ya ayyuhan nas, innahu la yaf'alu ba'di bi ahadin minan nas." O people, certainly this man, meaning Dajjal, would not have the ability to kill anyone like he killed me after me. So this was only one allowance that was given to Dajjal, and after killing this man, Allah would not allow him to do it again. Dajjal would then grab hold of this man to slaughter him, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would place a copper or a brass shield around this man's neck so Dajjal would not be able to slaughter him. Dajjal would try other means to kill him, and Dajjal would not be allowed to kill this man. Dajjal would then grab him by his hands and his feet, and he would throw him into that place where the people would assume it is fire. However, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says that man would have really been thrown into Jannah, into paradise. So this hadith alone gives us a clarification that the fire and the water of Dajjal are two physical manifestations. So they are not any type of figure of speech or metaphors, or there's no ta'wil, there's no interpretation we can do to get a different meaning. No, it's very dhahir, it's very clear that if Dajjal is holding this believer, this mu'min, by his hands and his feet, and is going to cast him into something, throw him into something, then it indicates, it's proven to us that it is a physical fire and it is a physical place of water. Now, as I did mention previously, this is not hard for us to believe, because so many movies, so many videos, so many cartoons that have popped up, in the last generation or two, showing us so many different impossible things that people would have done, or people are pretending to do, and they make it seem to be real. So it is just a means of desensitizing us. All of these things around us, all of these movies that people would look at, and people would see, all of these comics, is just a means of desensitizing us. So when Dajjal does emerge, people would have been accustomed seeing these things, and it wouldn't be any surprise to people. People would accept it so easily. So this man, he's thrown into the fire of Dajjal, and that fire, as the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, is actually Jannah and paradise. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, هَذَا أَعْظَمُ النَّاسِ شَهَادَةً عِنْدَ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Look at the certification from the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is a certification from Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is saying that this is the A'lamu Shahada. this is the greatest shahada of a human being in the eyes of your Lord. So in the eyes of your Lord, this is the greatest man who has ever been given shahada, this man. And he has a right to be given this title. Why? Because he's one man approaching the greatest fitna that ever walked on the earth. He's a greater fitna than anything else. He is not a Nabi of Allah. He is not a Sahabi. And he's an ordinary mu'min, an ordinary believer. And he is approaching Dajjal with this type of iman, knowing that he will be killed. And his iman has not shaken. His iman has only increased after being killed. So he is the greatest shaheed in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We'll do one hadith again inshallah before we stop. وعن المغيرة بن شعبة ورضي عنه مغيرة بن شعبة says ما سأل أحد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عن الدجال أكثر مما سألته. No one has ever questioned the Rasul صلى الله عليه وسلم more about Dajjal than I have questioned him. وإن قال لي, the Rasul صلى الله عليه وسلم said to me, ما يضرك, what is, or how is Dajjal going to harm you, or what is bothering you about Dajjal? What is so troubling with you concerning Dajjal? So Mughira bin Shu'bah says, إنهم يقولون, people are saying about him, إنما هو جبل خبز, that he has a mountain of bread, ونهر ماء, and he has a river of water, meaning he has so many things that people would need to survive. He has more or less the formula for mankind to survive. People would need this. It's a great temptation. So Mughira bin Shu'bah is saying this to the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Probably Mughira bin Shu'bah is not worried about his own iman and Islam, but other people's iman and Islam may be at risk when they are tempted with mountains of food and rivers of water. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, huwa ahwanu ala Allahi min dhalik. Dajjal is much more, I would say, belittled and petty in the sight of Allah than that. Meaning, yes, Dajjal may be a threat for human beings, may be a great fitna, but in the sight of Allah, he is nothing. He is nothing. And we should keep that in mind, inshallah. We recite Surah Al-Kahf, the entire of it, or the beginning and the end of it, and inshallah ta'ala, that's our protection against Dajjal. Prepare ourselves with iman, that's our protection against Dajjal. So if a person is holding on to Allah and Allah is close to that person, then that person doesn't have to worry about Dajjal. The people who need to worry are the people who do not have Allah to defend them. And remember, in the first hadith that we have done, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says that Wallahu khalifati ala kulli mu'min. Allah is my Khalifa, Allah is my how will you say, overlooker. Allah is my caretaker over every believer. So then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, if he was around and Dajjal would have emerged, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is enough to take care of him. And if Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is not around and Dajjal has emerged, Allah is going to take care of every believer. But everybody who says they are a believer does not guarantee that they are a believer. You have to be a believer according to the status or the qualifications that makes you a believer. With your salat, with your Quran, with the stage of your iman. So a believer has to fit into certain descriptions. So if we claim to be a believer, but your descriptions, your qualities are not like that of a believer, then you cannot really get the benefits of being a believer. So let's keep that in mind, inshallah. So we'll continue next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.